Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with a very special edition of the eSports Report. Today, we're making history. It is draft day here at MLG, and of course, we're talking MLG Call of Duty League Season 2. Now, we've already determined the top 12 teams that will be competing in COD League Season 2, and the rosters were set this past Tuesday. All kinds of roster changes going down following our PAX event, and, of course, Call of Duty Championship. So if you missed any of those announcements, we're going to start off the show today by running through each of those moves. Now, we will start with our 12th seed. That is the second team through the play-in tournament, going all the way down to Complexity, the number 1 seed. And coming in at number 12, we have Erupt Gaming. Now, this is Legal, Perplexed, Vexed, and Zuma. And these guys are best known for what they've done so far in the 2Ks and 5Ks. I mean, they've taken out Optic Gaming multiple times, made it into the Final Four, even going to the Grand Finals in one of our 2Ks. So Erupt Gaming will get our first pick. However, the team that won the play-in tournament a few weeks ago, that is Vex, that comes in with the second pick. Pluto, Puddle, and Slack picked up Slasher, replacing Saint right next to the roster lock. Of course, you know Huddle and Slack, these guys have been playing together for a while. Pluto, he was with Vex trying to qualify, has been playing with Saint for a while, but the team decided they wanted Slasher so that they could go to UMG Niagara together. So Saint's a little bitter, I'm sure, after that drop. He's going to be one of the top free agents in the market that everyone will be looking at, but Vex gets our number 2 pick. Our number 3 pick, pretty surprisingly, is Optic Gaming. These guys finished at the very bottom of Season 1. Of course, in Season 1, they weren't playing with Proofy. Proofy comes over after playing with FaZe in Season 1. He went to FaZe Black for a moment, a new squad that was being formed, and then got the offer to move up the ranks and join Optic Gaming, as Embos is going to be moved over to start his new team, Optic Nation. So Proofy's on that lineup. Optic gets the 3rd pick, and it'll be really interesting to see who they go after to join that line. Of course, not only are you joining the Optic team, also the Optic brand. Moving on to the next one, we have Curse Black. Now, these guys are basically Curse New York from last season. This is Burns and Mochila making their return. Tipsy has been added to the squad, was originally done in a trade as Curse Black picked up Tipsy. And, of course, Miracles for a moment went over to Justice. But Enable is going to be the 4th player on this lineup. Moving on now to our 5th pick. This will belong to FaZe Black. You'll notice 3 of these guys used to play under Strictly Business. FaZe Black is going to be taking over Curse Youth's position in Season 2. And Formal is picked up from Team Caliber. So 3/4 of Strictly Business plus Formal from TK equals FaZe Black. Coming in with the 6th pick. Our 7th seed overall, they fell just short of qualifying for PAX. This is Team Justice. However, this is a brand new lineup. Come roster lock day, everyone had left Justice that was originally on this team. Stainville was the last man standing, and when he left, they needed to pick up 4 fresh players. They went for half of Xfinity and Sin and Doubt. Then they went after half of Denial. Of course, Fire playing in Season 1 with Curse New York. Twiz was on Denial. Both of those players get the call, join up with Cole and Sin. And there you see, that is the official Justice lineup for Season 2. They'll be looking for some serious picks to help sub in as well. Coming in, though, into the top 6, we have Team Caliber coming in with their pick. We have Apathy and Neslo joining the squad. Neslo, a former member of TK, has played with Sharp and Goonjar in the past. Apathy, recently on Strictly Business. He finished number 1 at the U.S. Championships, then went on and joined up with this squad after a 2nd place finishing at PAX. Apathy going to be a great fill-in, and they did announce just a few weeks ago that Madcat, or a few days ago, that Madcat will be joining them at the UGC Niagara event. Moving on now to our top 5. Our next team on this board is going to be FaZe Red. Replays Classic and JCap staying together. Proofy goes to FaZe Black, then eventually lands on Optic Gaming. But Theory is the player they pick up from Team Caliber. He will be doing a lot of the OBJ work, and he was one of my 3 MVPs from PAX. Incredible performance in the slaying department, as well as, of course, running those objectives better than most people in this league. Down to the top few squads. So we have our top 4. Here is Envy, Merc, Study, and Nameless picking up Parasite after Pax. Parasite's going to be filling in for Rambo. Rambo taking on the coaching position or some of the management duties over at Envious, but is eligible in the draft, we should point out. It'll be interesting. Does Envy make the smart move and go after the guy that's living with them? I think we'll see Rambo on this lineup unless he gets stolen first. Down to our top 3, we have Curse Orange. Now, this is formerly Curse Las Vegas, but similar thing as Justice, had to create a brand new, fresh squad. Mud Dog and Croaster picked up from Xfinity. Miyagi, he has been a talented slayer. He was playing with Detach on Cursed Youth. And these guys will be filling out the Curse Orange lineup. They're going to get the 9th pick. Coming in at they'll get the 10th pick. Coming in with the 11th pick will be Strictly Business, and this is also a fresh squad. All of SB went to FaZe Black, basically, so they started fresh, went after John and Spacely, 2 very young guns who have been doing work in the 2Ks. Methods bounced around. He was picked up by TK for a moment after starting on Cursed Youth for Season 1, was released from TK, found a home with SB, and is starting to build that core. Stainville was the last-minute addition. He saw the opportunity to make a move to join some young guns as the veteran once again. He's played with Methods in the past, now a member officially of SB for Season 2. And of course, with the 12th pick in each round, it will be Complexity. These guys are the #1 squad in the world. They've been to the last 12 finals that they've attended for LAN events, and they've won 10 times. They are currently the Dynasty and Call of Duty. Aches and TP have now 14 wins underneath their belt. Crim6 and Karma looking to extend that dynasty as Complexity is the clear favorite in Call of Duty eSports at the moment. So that's a quick rundown of your teams. Let's get into how it's going to work tonight for the draft. Everyone wants to know, Puckett, how's the draft going to work? Do these players stay on the team? Are they starters? What does it mean? Of course, each team is going to have their 4 starters. They will also pick up 4 subs that can fill in at any point during the season. Now, throughout the season, a sub can actually be named a starter. So if you're picked up as a sub, you could potentially be playing in Anaheim with your other starters on the squad. Now, each round, we'll have all 12 teams pick up 1 player, and we'll be starting with the 12th seed all the way down to the 1st. Now, it's not going to go back-to-back picks for Complexity like you would see in a snake draft if you play fantasy football or anything like that. This is just like the regular NFL draft, lowest seed to highest seed every single round. Now, you'll also notice that we will have 3 minutes on the clock for round 1. It'll be 2 minutes after that. And we'll be kicking off the draft order with the captains in a Skype room. As those picks come in, we will be reading them off to you live. My guest for the night, we have Revan joining me to break down all of the action, and we're just a few minutes away from kicking this one off. Revan, my friend, welcome to the show. The first team on the clock is going to be Erupt Gaming.
Well, if I'm Erupt Gaming, who do I go after is the question. Now, it's going to be a little weird if you go after from someone like, let's say, on Optic Nation, because, you know, what if you sub them in while they're playing against Optic Gaming? You know, are they going to play to their fullest potential? It's going to be a little bit...
I got an update for you. Producer says, Puckett, read the board. Already, Vex is in the draft pick, and we have Killa. Okay. The #1 pick here, man. Let's take a look at some of this guy's stats.
So I was going to say, go after Killa, or I would even make a gamble and maybe go after TJ Holly. Our strategy when I was on Cursed New York for the last season was to go after the Search and Destroy All-Stars. We feel like, you know, if you could probably steal a respawn away in online Call of Duty, but it's all going to come down to Search and Destroy. If you can get someone to, you know, just carry your team like TJ Holly definitely can, it would be a smart pick in the draft.
All right, so Erupt Gaming making the move to go after Killa. Of course, he is the Black Ops 2 World Champion, won that title with Farico Impact, was on Curse Las Vegas for the start of Season 1, dropped by the team mid-season and did not play at PAX. But why do you think Killa is going to be such a valuable player for Erupt Gaming?
Well, he could pretty much play any role you want him to. Normally, you'll see Killa with a submachine gun in his hands, but he can also use that assault rifle and to great effect as well. He's a fantastic, aggressive player. You could kind of just let him run around, do your thing, while the other 3 players hold the map, and he's just going to get the job done.
Man, Killa, you know, he is such a fierce player. Not the most impressive stats there on that card, but if you watch this guy throughout all of his other tournaments. Killa constantly putting up those stats, and he is fearless when it comes to the objective. He'll take on 2 guys at any dom flag and win those fights about half the time. So Killa, definitely a smart decision, and we should say it officially. With the number 1 draft pick of the 2014 MLG Call of Duty League Season 2, Erupt Gaming picks Killa. You're welcome, editors. You know
that sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. Well, now we're going up with Vex. Vex on the clock, 30 seconds left. Let's take a look at this squad. Pluto, Huddle, Slacked, and they picked up Slasher, replacing Saint at the last moment. Who do you go after if you're Vex?
I'm just by hearing that roster, I feel like they're going to want more of a SMG objective-oriented player. Maybe go after somebody like Miracles, who could also get some slang done. Or, if they're feeling weak in their S&D, because if you remember our subs, we had 3 phenomenal search and destroy players. And at one point in time, we were thinking that maybe we should have 3 of us sit out and put in all the search and destroy guys for what could be a free map win. So if
the
I'm
roster
Vex
pick
here,
is in, Revan.
Who'd they pick?
Vex Gaming with the second pick goes for Saint.
Saint?
So Saint dropped and then picked back up. You think there's bad blood there, or have they obviously patched it up with this choice?
No, I actually love that pick, because what if there's some falling out, midway through the season? What if there's some falling out and they decide to drop somebody from the team? Then they have Saint there. Saint's a player who they already played with. They have established chemistry. And as you were saying before when you were introducing the show, he could play with them at Anaheim as well. So if something goes wrong, they drop one player, Saint becomes a starter, and he's back on the team.
There you see him. He already has his Vex jersey at home, ready to game. He is coming in with 22,525 pro points as well. 23rd on the pro points leaderboard overall, and that's above a lot of the guys that are listed as starters. So Saint, definitely a very successful player. He's been competing in Call of Duty for a long time, especially ripping it up on Game Battle since you see at least April of 2012. So Saint is the number 2 pick behind Killa. The question is now, who does Optic Gaming go after? Of course, they picked up Proofy in the last-minute roster swap, moving Embos over to Optic Nation. Is this a clear-cut Embos pick here for Optic Gaming?
They could go down the same road that Vex went down. Maybe if there's some falling out. Embos, you've already played with them, you have established chemistry, but I'd like to see them pick up an underrated player, somebody who may not have had that chance in the past, who's obviously a very talented player. Let me look at this list real quick. Now, who would they pick up that's kind of underrated? Maybe somebody like Cosmo I'd like to see have a chance in the spotlight. Maybe someone like Looney or Pac-Man. Just somebody, maybe even they might go after Big Timer, who knows? But I would definitely like to see some underrated talent get picked early on in the draft.
Well, Revan, unfortunately for you, I just got word from our producer. With the number 3 pick in the 2014 Season 2 draft, Optic Gaming is going with the man who lives in the house. Embos is going to be the 5th man for Optic Gaming. Smart pick here, I think, in their position. Having him in the house, can't really go after a better option. They did it with Big T in Season 1.
Yeah, who's actually, I have a sleeper pick ready for someone to pick. I think he might be one of the more talented players. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to wait till all the
Revan
picks are
JB?
gone. Wow, dude, you're reading some minds over there.
I know a guy out there who could fill in for any squad. But here's a look at Embo's stats. Of course, at COD Champs, he put up .92 overall KD. Did a lot of the domination work. Had a 22.5 kills per game as the Slayer. But his S&D was below a 1.0, which everyone thought would be his greatest strength. At Regionals, he didn't play as well in the slaying category, but definitely picked it up in the Blitz Cap. Same thing with COD League Season 1. However, Optic Gaming choosing to go after some more slaying power, picking up Proofy here, despite Embo's 3rd place finish at the Call of Duty Championships. I think that was a move that everyone was shocked by, but it's no surprise to see him back on the lineup here for Season 2. Let's move on now to our number 4th pick. Curse Black is on the board right now. These guys are running out of time as Curse Black, of course, this is the newly formed squad. Burns off a Mochila from Curse New York last year, teaming now with Tipsy and Enable. You got a Sniper, Revan, and Enable. Who do you go after? Oh, it looks like Miracles was already grabbed. Excuse me.
Okay. So Miracles, great pick. Now, Miracles, of course, was a part of the Curse organization for such a long time. No surprise there that they go right after him. I was actually thinking I might have gotten picked there, but
you pretty upset about
Miracles. I ain't mad at all.
You ain't mad?
I'm
Miracles
not mad.
in Season 1 had above a 1.0 KD, finished with 1.02. You can see his Slayer average and his SND game was on point, 1.03 there, at least trading a kill. And then we have, of course, his Blitz caps at the U.S. Regionals up to 4 and 3.25 for Dom caps per game. However, Curse Las Vegas did not make it into COD Championships. The team's kind of breaking up. He is now currently a member of Optic Nation with Killa and Mbos. 3 of the 4 Optic Nation players picked so far.
You know, my memory's a little fuzzy here, Puckett. Who is the team that knocked out Curse Las Vegas at regionals?
We got a Rise Nation, my friend.
No, that was Curse New York.
New York and Rise Nation. Excuse me.
Yeah, Rise, they got him first in the winners
They got
bracket.
the first pick, but they didn't get the final pick. How good did that feel, Revan?
It felt pretty good. I mean, obviously, it was kind of like a bittersweet win for us since, you know, they were a brother team to us. We considered them part of our family, and then we had to knock them out of, you know, trying to go for that 2-peat since they won the champs last year. But, you know, someone has to win.
Have to. All right, well, that means the next squad on the board is FaZe Black, 3/4 of Strictly Business. Formal on this squad. Is there any weakness for this squad? What do they need, in your opinion?
For FaZe, I'm not too sure. Something else to consider is that a lot of these teams, they want to play with their starting for just about every single game. So a lot of teams might be trying to steal players, you know, saying, hey, Killa, I don't want you to play with Optic Gaming, or hey, Miracles, I don't want you to play with this team. And they might try to snag them on their sub roster. I think since you have Formal on the squad, a lot of people have been asking questions about his S&D game. I think they go after S&D All-Star here.
Ricky?
Maybe Ricky, yeah, that'd be a great pick for them. Gives them some stability around the map because Ricky's a fantastic positional AR player. Plus, he's also great at search and destroy.
What about Fizzerp here? If you had TJ, Hallie, Fizzerp, Ricky to choose from, who would you go for in your opinion?
I think Ricky's probably number 1 of those picks. The thing with Fizzerp is he's been playing a lot of search and destroy lately, so he hasn't had a lot of practice and respawn, and same thing with TJ Holly. So I think number 1 out of those 3 has to be Ricky.
All right, well, I just got word from the producer. The pick is in. Let's find out who it is. Rambo!
Oh.
Didn't see this one coming. Rambo snaked from Envious here in the 5th round, or 5th pick overall in the 1st round by FaZe Black. Wow.
That's actually very surprising, and I'm sure Envy are probably pretty salty about that pick. I can only imagine Envy would love to have Rambo as a sub, but this is actually going to be great. If Rambo is willing to work with the FaZe squad, if they put him in for some search and destroy games with Formal, Rambo, he's a student of the game. He's going to be able to teach Formal a lot.
Wow, what a pickup here, and here's some stats for you. You see him at COD Champs. The World had about 5 captures when it came to domination, was averaging about 20 kills in any respawn game modes. Almost a 1.0 KD in search and destroy. He definitely had it online in the Call of Duty Season 1 League. But the man has won 9 events dating back to 2009. He did place 2nd, of course, at Call of Duty Championships before being replaced by Parasite. So, I think a lot of people in the community eventually saw Rambo getting moved off of Envy. I didn't see it happening this early, but for Season 2, Rambo is not playing with Envious. He will be picked up by FaZe Black, and that puts Justice on the board. Of course, the brand new Justice squad. Let's see what they decide to do. Of course, this is half of Xfinity playing with half of Denial. BL Fire, Twiz, you know these guys pretty well. Same thing goes for Sin and Mr. Cole. Who do you think they go for?
I think they need to go after Slayer, and this might be the team that might steal Ricky. I just feel like this team, obviously they're great players. I just feel like they're missing a little bit of slaying power. And if, you know, they have BL Fire sitting out, then they're going to need someone like Ricky who plays very similarly to BL Fire. Could bring out an SMG at any moment, holds down the lanes with a great AR shot. I would be surprised if they don't pick Ricky here.
All right, well, actually, it looks like Justice is going to go for Looney.
Okay.
Now, there's some controversy going on with Rambo in the draft. We will keep you guys updated, but apparently that may have been a false pick or an uneligible pick for some reason. Our team will get that sorted out, but Justice going after Looney here. First member of Rise Nation to be grabbed. What do you like about Looney's game? What does he bring to the table?
Looney's a very aggressive SMG player, so maybe they just want, you know, some extra help in the SMG department, you know, pushing out the lanes on the map, pushing up. But being the first player from Rise Nation, I definitely didn't expect Looney to get picked. If anybody, I would have thought Wheats would have been the #1 pick from anybody from Rise, but surprising pick from Justice right there. It definitely caught me off guard.
All right, well, I just got the official word because it was out of order and possibly even a fake pick in the Skype chat that's going on. We're going back to FaZe Black's pick, man. We got to rewind it. So, Looney's still on the table. I believe Rambo is still on the table. We'll see who FaZe Black decides to go with here. Again, this is Formal, Saint, Sensor, and Dito. Now, when you look at this squad, they already have the vocal leaders on the team. They already have the post-up AR on the team, and Dito. I thought it was an S&D player that they would be bringing in here. As I said, I think Ricky could be that guy, but do you want Dito and Ricky on the same team?
I don't know. That's a whole lot of passive players for you. I think maybe take a gamble in TJ Holly. Maybe go after Bumzo. I would still love to see them pick up an S&D player.
S&D, who are you thinking here? TJ?
Yeah, I think TJ, out of all the S&D players, he's definitely the best. You know, he could perform very well in respawn games. He's a great blitz player. And of course, he's one of the best search players in the game.
All right, we'll see what happens with that pick. Of course, Curse Black went after Miracles. We saw Kill land on Erupt. Vex Gaming with kind of a surprise pick, going back to the guy that they qualified with in Saint. We'll see if that turns out to be a good move. I think it will, as they have natural chemistry and they already have a lot of strats together. But now it looks like FaZe Black has their pick ready. Let's go and see who they grabbed. They went after Fears. So Fears officially now the first player from Rise taken. They go after another post-up AR, which is pretty interesting here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird pick. So Fears is obviously a Slayer. He doesn't do much objective work. He's actually a very similar player to Dito, although I do feel like Dito is just a tad more aggressive than Fears. Dito is more willing to move around the map more than Fears is. But, you know, in the end, FaZe, they know more about their team than I do, so they feel more comfortable with Fears.
Okay, so Fears is going to be the pickup. Of course, Fears did play with Strictly Business. We should point this out. He was on the original lineup for COD Season 1, was released. But look at this guy's performance at World Champs. Of course, a lot of these games came from group play, and they didn't have the toughest bracket in a lot of people's opinions. But a 1.31 KD is one of the best we saw the entire tournament. He had 3 domination caps per game, 25 kills a game in respawn game modes, and when it came to S&D, a 1.05. He was also majorly positive at the U.S. Championships, going 1.15. Didn't do any OBJ work in a blitz, as you can see there. Very few domination caps as well, but 25 kills a game once again when it came to respawn game modes. Finished 7th at the 2014 Call of Duty World Championships. Also a member of Complexity that won Frag Cup 4. Is that accurate?
What was that again?
All right.
What was that stat?
He won Frag Cup 4 as a member of Complexity.
Yeah, that's true.
So this guy's been to all of the top teams, and it looks like he's picked up by another one. He will land on FaZe Black.
Fears is always the guy that Leverage, or who's now known as Complexity, they would always get Fears for like the first 2 events of the game. Then they'd go on winning both those events, and then they would get rid of Fears. So Fears, he has a wealth of experience. He's played with the best of the best. But, you know, obviously you're saying fantastic Slayer, or he has established chemistry with some of the players on FaZe. But we'll see if it works out. We'll see if they put him in for some games.
Okay, while we've been talking, Justice has been on the clock. Let's see who they're going for, and Justice will go for Looney. So back-to-back Rise Nation players, Fears and now Looney, being grabbed here in our top 6 picks. Here's a look at Looney's stats once again. 1.04 overall at Call of Duty World Championships. You see him, though, with the domination captures above 4. And he brings a 1.26 KD when it comes to S&D. That's after 10 games as well. So a lot of games going into that stat at World Championships. Very impressive number. However, in COD Season 1, didn't have the best performance online. Had a really rough game with a .2, as it looks like he had faced some tough competition. But also, he was a member of that Rise Nation team that, again, finished 7th place at World Championships. He's proved it amongst the best in the world. He dropped 48 kills against Complexity and Hardpoint at MLG Dallas. Another notable performance that we saw him in on the main stage for one of the first times.
I actually didn't know Looney was that good in Search and Destroy. I guess I just always overlooked him, but those stats sound amazing to me. So just they get a big boost in their S&D game with Looney.
Yeah, and when I was watching this guy at the U.S. regionals, he was always weaving in and out with that MTAR, spraying, covering his teammates, being very mobile around the map. I think he is going to bring a lot of movement. And Sin Doubt, BL Fire, and Twiz, you know, they're looking for a solid player. I think a guy on Rise was a great pick for him. Revan, that is 6 teams down here in round number 1. We have 6 more to go after this commercial break.